Welcome to downtown Tulsa, One Oak Field. We are joined by one of the Dodgers' top prospects in the system, Dalton Rushing. Dalton, thank you so much for joining. I've enjoyed covering you. It's great to get to actually talk to you and meet you.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, Casey. I'm excited.
Okay, obviously everybody knows how well you hit the baseball. That's pretty obvious. One thing that's become very obvious to me is your competitive fire, and it becomes really obvious behind the plate. Talk about where you got all that.
Probably football, honestly. It probably all comes from like a football nature. I grew up playing football. So I was a junior, kind of gave it up just to be smart, save the body, save the career in baseball. And yeah, it kind of fuels itself through playing all those years on a football field.
All right, Louisville, man, you grew up now north of Memphis, what, about 35, 40 minutes, something like that? Yeah, so Louisville, obviously, Will Smith, and then you had Henry Davis that you played with. Zach Birdie was on a couple of those teams that went to the College World Series. Devin Mann also played. So obviously a great program, some pretty obvious reasons why you'd go there, but talk about that and your time there.
Man, it was great. It was, they had a thing for winning, and that was kind of me to a T. So as soon as I got that opportunity, I took advantage of it. I was on campus for 3 years, made the most out of my 3 years, experienced everything, COVID, a down year in 21, weren't very good, and then 22, 1 game short of Omaha. It was pretty special. It's pretty cool.
What is it that Dan McDonald has done there that has turned that program around? Why is that program so good?
He teaches professionalism, going about your work the same way every day, understanding what your work is, what's in front of you, the opportunities, the adventures in this game, the ups, the downs, everything that this game brings you. He just kind of prepares you for it at a young age, and most guys at 18 aren't being prepared for going 0 for 25 or going 0 for 30 in the minor leagues, but that was something he kind of embedded into your blood to be able to say, okay, hey, you're going to do these things, and you're going to have to learn how to get out of them. And thankfully those things have helped me down this road. Really
cool experience for you. You played with Diego Cartaya. First of all, congratulations to him to getting promotion.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you were the first ones to congratulate him there.
Absolutely, yes sir.
Okay, so you played with him. You two are very highly ranked prospects at catcher. At Louisville, you had experience with this because Henry Davis was the very first pick of the 2022 draft. So you had experience of having to share time with an elite player.
Correct. Yeah, no, it was something, like I said, I mean, it's a familiar standpoint for me, understanding that, hey, we both have to control this whole staff. It can't just be one-sided. It can't just be one-ended. This is something we have to work together on, understand the staff, understand who takes each and every pitcher a different way, how to talk to certain guys, all that, everything that comes into catching. We kind of teamed up together, and I mean, we've done a pretty good job up to this point, and like you said, congratulations to him. He's been grinding, man. He's looked really good the last few weeks, so I'm excited to see what he does in OKC.
Did you guys ever work the process of being such highly ranked, or is that something you guys don't think of? Or
it's more of that's something you try and leave that out of things. I mean, the external pressure that you receive from just that kind of standpoint itself is tough to kind of play the game of baseball and think about something like that. So it's more just hey, how can I be me on a field for 9 innings, 12 innings, however many innings you have to play. Just be yourself and understand that the game's going to come to you. You are who you are. You're going to do the things that you were put on this earth to do. You're going to do the things that everyone sees in you. Just play the game of baseball.
I saw you enough at Louisville. I've seen you enough since you become a Dodger to know that you put winning above everything else. And so playing with Henry Davis, playing with Diego Cartaya, Jainer Fernandez, all these guys who are great players, catch, Griffin Lockwood, Powell can catch.
Absolutely.
You've had to create positional versatility. We know you can catch. We know you can play first base because you played there a lot at Louisville. Anywhere else you can play?
Wherever they tell me they need me, in all honesty. It's pretty open. I'm an open book. If you don't know that, if you want me to play somewhere, you just tell me to go. Just give me a glove and tell me to run out there. I may look a little rough the first couple, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out soon enough.
So this is the team that, quite frankly, about a month ago was struggling a little bit. If you go back to that Saturday night where Jack Little, usually a mild-mannered guy, got all fired up against a rival, the Wichita Wind Surge, the Pro Series, right?
Absolutely.
You kind of worked him through the emotions of that, got him fired up a little bit. I just kind of noticed that you make sure your pitchers stay on task at all times and keep their confidence.
It's I've always said, as a pitcher, you have the easiest job. I kind of put that in their head. It kind of sounds a little bad coming out of my mouth, but I want them to understand that they're at the advantage. There's 2 little things they have to do, is just attack, fill up the zone, and if you're a Dodger, most of the time your stuff's good enough to beat the guy that's 60 feet in front of you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just kind of like embed that into their head and help them understand this game can slowly come to them if they just follow two things.
You're very cerebral, obviously very talented physically as well. But when you found out you were gonna, the Dodgers were looking at you, probably gonna get drafted by the Dodgers, very excited because you knew the culture, you knew the developmental system. Take us through all that.
Yeah, it was more the developmental and the winning culture. That's something I came from before college, throughout college. And then yeah, just being able to follow that into pro ball is something like, it was a dream come true, because it's like, all right, you get to play the same game. You don't really have to worry about like yourself or how you're doing personally. It's more just win. And I mean, you're minor league baseball, you're not going to go out and win 80% of games. It's just, that's the way minor league baseball is.
Yeah.
But like when you play for these opportunities to clinch a first half, clinch a second half later in the year, things like that, like you kind of bring out the competitive nature a little bit.
You could tell just how excited you were to get your pro career started, because when you got to Rancho, one of the most incredible stretches of offense I've ever seen. Talk about that period.
Yeah, it was nice, man. It was, I ended my year really well in college throughout the super regionals. Was swinging it really, really well. So it was kind of just like grab the bat and go. When I got drafted, they were like 2 games in Arizona and then like, hey, you're going to Rancho. And I'm like, all right, let's go. Get there, and it was just kind of like pick up where you left off kind of thing. I was just feeling good at the plate. Things were going my way. And like I mentioned earlier, it's a game of baseball. And for about a month and a half, everything went my way.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not always going to happen, but you take advantage of those opportunities every time they come in your baseball career.
Total perspective, as you can tell. Hey, sweet hat, by the way. I got one on myself. That drip is sweet, isn't it?
Oh yeah, I love the Tulsa too.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've talked about all the things that you do. What things, Dalton rushing wise, for yourself, I'm sure you're a great self-evaluator. What things do you think you're good enough at right now to be a consistent major leaguer?
We have a manager in the system, the Godfather. John Shoemaker always says it's like nothing really changes between a player. It's just like the opportunity arises and you take advantage of it. And realistically, it's going to be the same game here that it's going to be in the big leagues. I'm going to have struggles here. I'm going to have struggles in the big leagues. And along the way, it's going to be the same exact thing. The more you kind of treat this game as the same game all the way through, and just obviously continue to enjoy it and continue to make the most of it, create a little fire, create a little competitiveness. You want to win. Everyone wants to win. The easier this game gets on you at the end of the day. So I don't really think of this level in the big leagues as any different. Obviously, there's a little difference to it, but I mean, I'm going to have the same plan when I'm a big leaguer. I'm going to get in the box. I'm going to have the same thing. I'm going to drive in as many runs as I can, help the team win. And when we win, we're going to celebrate.
I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up your mother. She's been a big influence in your life. A lot of the reasons why you love baseball, you're so competitive.
Yeah.
Talk about her and whoever you want here.
Oh, she's the best, man. It's grew up it's like single parent household, but she was everything you could ask for. She put a little fire in me for sure. She
probably still does.
Oh yeah, she still does. But no, she's everything anyone could ever ask for a mother, and yeah, she's been everything to me. It's just on the field, off the field, you name it, she's done it.
So do you answer the phone after an 0 for 4 and both a 4 for 4?
No, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. If I don't, she's texting me like crazy. So I have to get on the phone, yeah, regardless. That's your mother.
Young kids out there that want to become Dalton rushing, tell us what they need to do to get in the position you're in right now.
Set your sights on something and just don't give it up. You're going to win. Like, you have to be a winner. To get to this point, to get to the point that you want to get in the big leagues, up there, that's the only thing that matters is winning. Nobody cares if you went 0 for 4. You can go 0 for 4 and have 3 RBIs. I promise you I've seen it happen. That's just how the game goes. So yeah, take advantage of every opportunity that gets put in front of you and play the game with a little bit of fire.
Dalton rushing, thank you so much for joining Dodgers Daily.
Absolutely, thank you guys.